Hey everybody, it's Matt here with another Hidden Machine update here on the second channel, Hidden Machine Annex. I just wanted to make a brief update video to talk about some things going on with the channel and what we got on the immediate horizon. This has been the busiest month of my year by far. I've had a lot of goals for this year and I haven't met all of them, but I've met many of them and am continuing to meet them. So I think I maybe just like put a little too much on my plate, but stuff is happening all the time that I feel really good about. So it's, I don't feel like disappointed or anything, but it's just kind of like, I guess coming to terms with the reality of how many hours can I put into a day. And also, realizing things like unhealthy habits and vices that kind of get in the way of my creative aspirations and productivity, whether that's, poor sleep or alcohol or weed or whatever. Sometimes I slow myself down and that's frustrating, but it is just a thing that I got to deal with. Not that I'm in like any serious trouble, but I do kind of, I guess I'm just kind of like a little too loose with that stuff sometimes. And then like, it's rare that I have like a wicked hangover, but there are some days where I can tell that, especially I'm out playing music and there's free booze. I'm a few beers deep. I go to bed late. I get up late and that day's shot. I'm not like crawling around moaning necessarily, wailing in pain, but I'm not sharp like I can be. And that's a thing that's become more apparent the older I get. And I gotta just, do the best I can, as we all have to. But I am still very proud of a lot of what I've accomplished, since the previous update video. I'm looking here, that was done. I'm pulling it up right now. Shut up, me. July 29th, so almost a full month ago since the last weekly update video. Hopefully it's not in my teeth. I've been enjoying some organic black licorice. So right around that time, I put out a video on No Mercy, a game that was very controversial. Shortly after that, I put out a video on Heartworm, a little spoiler-free review that I did, and also did a little preview video on the new Alan Wake book from Lost in Cult. And if you don't know, it is very cool. It's a book covering the development history of Alan Wake, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, and Alan Wake 2. With new developer interviews and a deep look into the making of and everything. And I have very high expectations for this book. I've seen other books from Lost in Cult that I am absolutely fascinated by. And I've been wanting for years to see this collaboration happen between them. And it's happening, and I'm so stoked. And the Lost in Cult folks were nice enough to give us a affiliate link, which is down below. If you purchase through that, we get a little kickback on every purchase made through that link. I don't know when we get paid or how we get paid because the books aren't actually being produced yet. Pre-orders are open until October 17th. So this isn't something that's going to, be sold out in a day. If you want to take a little time to think, do I really want to get this? You got time. And while there is a deluxe edition with a bunch of little goodies, there's also a standard edition, which has, no extra goodies, but is still going to be very sick. And from what I've seen, that will be kept in print for a while after the pre-order. Excuse me, I'm going to cough now. All right, I'm back from coughing, and it made my eyes wet. It was just so beautiful. It was just such a beautiful cough. I'm super stoked on that book, and of course, Hidden Machine Alan is a code you can use at checkout for 5% off anything on that site. And I said this in my main video, but it was a very long video. It's like 20 minutes long, talking about this book that isn't even out yet. I don't want to shill for companies, but this is a company that I respect. I don't even see it as a company, because I see the people who are working on these things. You know, it's not a faceless organization. There's very few outlets, organizations, entities, whatever, that I would want to do ads for or do affiliate stuff with. And we didn't do an ad for them. You know, I think that video that I made does count as an ad by my own standards, but it was not like paid promotion. You know, they're not paying us. The only money we get is if someone decides to use our affiliate link, which you have no obligation to do. And even if we didn't have that, I would have made this video anyway, because I am very stoked on this collaboration. I just have so much respect for Lost in Cult and their work. It's just really phenomenal stuff. So I would say, even if you're not into that book, I would say take a look at their website and just check out what they do. It's very cool. They've been also doing some really nice high-end physical editions of games. So I won't go on and on about them, but I do want to just mention the link down there if you want to kick us a few bucks. The money's very helpful. My personal budget is very tight, and we don't take any money from the channel personally, like Jordan and I. Like, it just goes into stuff for the videos. You know, whether that's like a Game Pass subscription or mic stands, cables, memory cards, upgrades. You know, we got Jordan a new gamepad when he needed a controller, things like that. Just various expenses where it's like, oh, I want to do a video on this. Oh, I need this thing that's like $30, $50 here and there. You know, it just goes into a bank account and it sits there until it's time to get something for the channel. We don't make enough money for it to even be significant, you know, for us to take anything. Maybe if we had an emergency, we're like, you know, I'm having a personal emergency. Can we use some of this money? I think that would be fine. But it's us making the rules. We don't really have to answer to anybody about it, but I like to be transparent about where the money goes and what we do with it. And I just don't want people thinking that like we're rolling in it and we're like making bank off pimping this book or something. Because, you know, we make between... I think when everything is said and done, between Patreon and YouTube and everything, maybe about $100 or less a month. Sometimes closer to $200. And then if a video really pops off, then it could be up to like $1,000 in a month, but that's very rare. That's very rare. That's, you know, we had that hype, you know, around the time of Alan Wake 2, one of our Alan Wake videos popped off, and that was like a nice payday for the channel. And that stayed steady for a few months, but, you know, we make niche content that's not, you know, it's not making us a lot of money. And speaking of niche content, well, our long-form video review discussion show, Yeah, I've Played, is something that we haven't done as many episodes in recent months as I would like. In fact, our last episode was for mouthwashing, and that came out, I'm going to mute this tab, in March, I want to say, was the last episode, March 2025, and I think we shot it in November or December even. And, yeah, I really loved playing that game, and I loved discussing it, and I don't know, I think it's a fun show to do. Again, I know it's a niche thing, not everybody likes our little tangents and goofs, but some people really do, and I'm very grateful. And so Jordan, you know, as I've talked about on the channel a few times, was having a lot of hectic stuff going on in his life, mostly surrounding his home burning down. But he now lives right next door. And we have gotten 2 new episodes shot in the last 2 weeks for Dead Take, an interesting sort of FMV escape room type game, which features a cameo from Sam Lake. And for Threshold, a first-person narrative horror experience. I want to say for the past like year and a half, Jordan and I have been wanting to do more Yeah, I've Played episodes. It's just been kind of hard to, get our schedules together. And then there was, an almost 6-month period of him getting settled into a new home. Maybe 4 months. I don't know. But it was a while. And things were busy and hectic before that. Like in the summer is when my band, Austin and the In-Laws, is gigging all the time. I've been doing gigs twice a week, every weekend all summer, either with Austin or with other groups, or video freelance gigs where I do videography for bands and stuff. I just did a music video for a local band called Model 97 for their song City Beach, which you can check out a clip of right here.
Broken glass cutting up my feet. More cigarette butts and grains of sand. Old man in Spiels, all old and tan. City Beach, City Beach, Shitty Beach, City Beach. Come to City Beach.
And I'm getting set to do another video for another local band called Last Pages. These are both like punk rock bands. And I also did some video work for a clarinet ensemble, which has not quite come together just yet. I'm waiting for some more supplementary footage from some of the people in that group, but I'll be putting that together soon. But I did go out and shoot some of their event a little while ago this summer, and it's been good. I kind of stopped doing freelance video, but I need some extra money. And this week, I'm going to be out of town for a few days. I'm going back home to Syracuse, New York to see the Great New York State Fair and catch a live performance from Busta Rhymes. I'm very excited. He's doing a free concert at the New York State Fair. The free concerts at the fair this year are crazy. They got Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm not going to remember all the other bands off the top of my head, but some big names, or at least names that were big 30 years ago. But I think they're still big in their own way. But it is probably funny for someone who's not as old as me to be like, Busta who? What? Where's, I don't know, Lil Xan, or I don't know. I don't know what kids like. Yeah, I don't know. I love hip-hop so much, but I really do struggle to appreciate or find any value in a lot of kind of like post-SoundCloud rap stuff. A lot of the mumble rap and I don't know. I don't understand the appeal of rappers. To me, it must be, when I hear new rappers and they're barely on beat, and they're kind of slurring their words, and I know it's more about the vibe than the lyrics. I get that, but I don't dig it. And I'm assuming that must also be how it's probably akin when I hear that, and then these kids hear the stuff that I'm into, and they think what I'm listening to is archaic and childish, maybe even. When I was first getting into hip hop and I'd hear some early 80s stuff, or mid to late 80s stuff, and it sounded like nursery rhymes, and some of it was literally modified nursery rhymes, I'd go, what? I don't know about that. It's a generational thing. Now that isn't to say there isn't lots of new music that I like, but I'm talking about, who can you get to play a free show at the fair? Probably someone who had their peak 30 years ago. That's my whole point. So anyway, Yeah, I've Played. We are back in a good rhythm. Again, 2 episodes down, and when I get back in town, we'll be shooting another episode for Harvester. We're going to get into some more FMV games, which I'm very excited to do. I love old FMV games. I think they are very interesting and bizarre, and a great source of unintentional comedy at times, or intentional comedy. It's not like people were unaware that they were making stuff on a shoestring budget with these green screen operations, and there's a lot of great weird shit out there that I'm excited to cover on the show with Jordan. And our current tactic is going to be doing shorter games that take maybe, 1 to 6 hours, I'll say, to complete. Doing those on a regular 1 to 2 week basis. And then at the same time, playing a longer game. The current one is God of War 2018. And, on Yeah, I've Played, we really like to go beat for beat and kind of discuss every aspect of the game in as much detail as possible, and discuss every mission or level or scenario and scene and all the mechanics and stuff. But for a game as big as God of War 2018, what I'd like to do is maybe we each pick 5 to 10 things about the game we really like. A mission, an area, a boss battle, something. And then we bring those to the table and we kind of discuss highlights of the game rather than trying to do an exhaustive video on God of War or a game like it. We've talked about doing something similar with Fallout 4, with Cyberpunk 2077. Those just haven't come together yet, but they probably will before too long, because it's just so much easier now to work together. Especially if he doesn't have to drive, he just walks over. He doesn't even have to put on fucking shoes, That's really exciting for me. I really like doing that show. And then, and it's easy to do in a way. It's like, it's nice just to have a chat and enjoy a game. It's relatively low stress for me. But there are other videos on the channel that I've not had the time to finish, and it's been very frustrating for me. Just because of my lack of free time. Which is opening up as soon as this summer season's over. And then in the future, I do not plan on being a gigging musician to the extent that I have been this year.
God, what have you done? You're a pink pony boy, and you dance at the club. Oh, mama, I'm just having fun on the stage in my boots. It's where I belong, down at the Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood.
I wanted to wind down this year, but again, my band put out our LP, Songs of Yearning, available now on all streaming platforms and also on Bandcamp, which is where I recommend you hear it and buy it. And you can get the vinyl if you want. We put the record out, and I was like, well, now we gotta play shows everywhere to try to sell it. And thankfully, we have been selling the record. The record is selling. We're making some money back. It feels good. People like it. People are enjoying it. It came with a songbook where, it's all the lyrics and chords. And we've gotten videos of people performing those songs, and it feels really great to see, we love playing old songs and playing other people's songs and celebrating a tradition and history of music and, American folk music, American country music. And it's cool to think okay, how do we become part of this tradition? And it's well, let's make the songs easy for people to pick up and play. And it's been working, and that's been really gratifying. Not so much in oh, wow, they're doing my song, because, I only write half the songs. I could write all of them, but I gotta give Austin some leeway somewhere. No, it's not an ego thing. It's more just I know how much fun it is when I learn a new song and I'm excited to play it. And it's very cool to be able to give someone else that feeling through our music. That makes sense? And I'm sure there is an ego thing attached to that as well, but it's not my conscious main motivator. Yeah. Anyway. The summer show season is winding down, and the next big project that will be on the channel from me, Matt from Hidden Machine, will be a video on the history of the career of Ed Logg, who's the creator of Asteroids, Centipede, Gauntlet. He led the teams on the home versions of the San Francisco Rush series. If you played Rush, Rush 2, or Rush 2049, which are some of my favorite racing games, and I replayed them for this video, and my god, they hold up so well. Especially, I didn't know about the Dreamcast version of Rush 2049. I only played the N64 version. The Dreamcast version is so good. It's crazy. It's so fucking nice. So, the folks over at Zoom Platform, namely Jordan Freeman, the founder, put me in touch with Ed, and it's been really great, chatting with Ed and working on this video. So it's it's a concept for a video that I'd like to do more of, but it is so research intensive that it's like it's kind of difficult to pull off by myself, especially. But it's a passion project, so I don't know. I'm not trying to make money, and I wouldn't make money, so I don't want to like bring other people in because I'd want to compensate them for their time, or I'd want them to feel, the same as I do, where they're like, oh, I'm super passionate about this, but at the same time, I need to know that their work is something I can trust. I don't need to be micromanaging them. So I'm not really interested in trying to bring on any help, but my point is, it's supposed to be this hybrid sort of like career retrospective and interview. So I'm cutting back and forth between my recent chat with him and then archived interviews he's done, and then like, sort of, just gamer documentary style coverage of his games and his contributions to the industry. I think it's a really fascinating story, and he's been super helpful and very candid and just very clear with information. If I need a fact about something, he's got the facts, and about technical stuff and everything. It's very nice. So that took me a long time to finish, and the one request he had was, I would like to read the script before you publish anything. And I go, okay, reasonable. As a journalist, you don't owe that to anyone legally, but if someone asks, and I'm not trying to do some sort of like, I'm not trying to get censored or anything. I have no problem showing him the script ahead of time, because it's nothing where he could impede on my journalistic integrity by reading it beforehand, because I'm not like, I'm talking about games he worked on, and he's open about his, any of his like minor controversies or anything that have happened in his career. He's pretty candid. He's not like this guy who's gotten where he was in the industry by fucking over a bunch of people. You know what I mean? In fact, in researching people who've worked with him, they've had nothing but nice things to say about him as a mentor and peer. So I had to finish that script, and it took me a long time to get the last bit of it done, because I was working on it a little bit here and there, not having like a good chunk of time to dedicate to it exclusively. But I just got the script approved by him. He had a couple minor notes, just like fact-checking a couple dates and technical things, but nothing about the, I don't know what the word would be. Nothing editorial. You know what I'm trying to say? Nothing like, ooh, I don't like how I'm presented here, or, ooh, well, this person so-and-so. So it was very nice just to be able to tell the story I want to tell and have him feel, okay, yep, that's cool with me. And so that's something I've been doing pre-production on for a long time now. Like, we did the interview in April or May. So it's been all summer I've been trying to work on this. So I come back to reality after my little trip back home and some more gigs this next weekend as well. The weekend after this current weekend that's about to happen. I'll be back in September, and I'll be really putting the pedal to the metal and, finishing this Edlog video and wrapping up a handful of other projects, which I have talked about on the channel extensively before. But I think, this was something where I probably would have not minded taking 10 months to work on this video. But because, like, I've got, Ed kind of waiting on me, I don't want to leave that hanging forever. So I'm trying to wrap this up as quick as I can now that I've got the script where I want it. And that feels good. But I've also got my my long form video on Quantum Break, which I also feel like I've been doing a lot of pre-production on, and I'm pretty much ready to get that going as well. The big hang up on that video was I really wanted to talk to people who worked on the game, and I can't do it. Nobody can talk to me legally right now. At least I wouldn't, maybe not legally. Or maybe it's an NDA thing. But nobody who is a current employee at Remedy is able or willing to talk to me. Well, I shouldn't say it. They were willing to talk. They are not able to talk without Microsoft's permission. And I can't get in touch with the relevant parties at Microsoft. It fucking sucks. I have been trying to track down former Remedy employees who worked on the game. But I haven't been unsuccessful in reaching anyone. It's very frustrating. However, I still feel like I have a great story to tell about this game that I haven't seen anyone else tell yet. I have some, stuff I've found from the development that I think is very interesting that just hasn't really been highlighted before. Not that it's like some, secret discoveries or anything. It's just stuff where I haven't seen anyone put this whole picture together. Probably because the game, I don't know, had a mixed response. And, it wasn't long after that Remedy was on to Control, which I think completely overshadowed Quantum Break. So I'm very excited to get that done. This is going to be a long, ambitious video, and I feel really good about it. I'm having a lot of fun researching it, and I could, the thing about this, and I've said it before, I could do the research forever and never publish anything and feel great. Publishing the video is fun, and making the final video is fun, but also, I love the research and learning so much that I could just do it infinitely. There's always something more to discover. And so I want to make these semi-exhaustive videos on these topics. Well, that's impossible, You can't tell a complete story. Ever. It's not possible to tell a complete story. There's always something you missed, something you didn't know you missed, something still developing, ramifications of things, secrets, stuff that was never documented, stuff that was forgotten. You can do the best you can, but when it comes to something like a video game being developed, especially a big budget game, impossible to tell an exhaustive, full story. That's why I hate when people go, the full, I don't know. People use these superlatives all the time to describe their videos, and it bugs me out because I'm like, man, I know it's not complete, It's as complete of a history as you could tell with your limited resources, which is misleading to the viewer and disrespectful, I think. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get on these couple topics with the I've played and just say, hey, things are going forward. Thank you for your continued support. If you're one of the Patreon supporters or channel members, means a lot. Really does. Thank you. And I do have a lot more in the tank. And this summer's been so fucking exhausting. One, I'm not good in the heat, and we've had a lot of 90-degree plus days. And secondly, the area I live in has had a lot of days with very bad air quality due to wildfires. And I'm very sensitive to that. So even just physically, I've been kind of decimated on certain days just due to environmental factors, which are out of my control. And I do have an air conditioning unit in my office here, but I think it's on its way out. It doesn't work very well anymore. I feel like I can run it at high all day, and my room is still, I can still break a sweat in here. So maybe that's something I could replace one day if the channel makes enough money. I don't even know how much an AC costs these days. Anyway, thank you for your time. And I don't know. I'd love to say something really poignant and significant, but I have nothing right now. I'm actually kind of exhausted. But I feel great. I feel really happy. And I'm excited to make stuff and share stuff. Yeah. All right. Bye.